1-star reviews.
The Gentleman.
The Gentleman was bad. Prove me wrong in the comments.
Awful movie. What has everyone been smoking? This movie was awful, extremely boring and confusing. I couldn't wait for it to be over.
Good acting but terrible storyline. The film perpetuates several negative stereotypes. If you're a simple-minded lad, you'll enjoy this film. Come on Hollywood, change it up. We've seen rubbish like this time and time again. I wish I didn't waste my money on this.
Like a privileged adolescent trying desperately to impress adults at a party. A dull film that is trying way too hard to be edgy and fun. None of the characters ring true in any shape or form, sounding exactly like the rich actors trying their best to be hard and street that they are. The plot is predictable, the comedy tone deaf and flat. Truly an annoying privileged teen wanting to impress the adults. Oh, and the joke at an animal's expense towards the end is painfully try-hard and beyond obvious. I got a free ticket. I'd suggest you don't pay for the Renos on his country estate with your patronage.
Medicore. This movie is a mess. Lots of cliches. Stupid dialogues that make impression it's done by a silly student. The Gentleman is an encyclopedia of stereotypes about alpha male. Being cool. And it's laughable. The jokes are awful and boring. Guy Ritchie has always been the worst. And this film proves it. To be honest.
Worst film I've ever seen. Tremendously racist and sexist. Really bad. Like old people doing a high school reunion. It feels like we're all in on some inside joke that only the writer gets. And it's not funny at all to anyone except them. It's just a bunch of gibberish. Mixed in with strange amounts of racism against Chinese people. Against Jews. And sexism against women. I will never understand how stuff like this gets made and how no one is bringing any controversy against it. Shows maybe our culture is starting to fail.
Waste of money. Pathetic movie. It does get exciting in the end, but an absolute waste of money.
Don't watch. This has to be one of the worst films ever. It's just crap.
Really? Unwatchable. The four of us gave it an hour. But it was confusing, disjointed, and unwatchable. I don't understand what all of the people who gave it 8+ saw. We're in the minority, but save your money and time.
Waste of time. I like Matthew McConaughey, and I was intrigued by the trailer. So I went to see it. I thought it was one of the stupidest films I ever saw.
Walked out after enduring the first 45 minutes. I had a bad feeling watching this in a near-empty theater session. I should have gone with my instinct to leave after the first 5 minutes, but I endured the first 45 minutes waiting for some kind of storyline to develop and ended up walking out to watch the tail end of another movie. It seems like the writers left nothing in the script for this cast of normally great actors to get their teeth into, so they spent most of their time filling the void with expletives. Drug use and trying to offend and shock rather than act. I could have seen this in the car park or any Huso estate for free. Save your money folks and give this a wide berth.
Another mediocrity from Ritchie. There's SMTH really weird about how this mediocre director gets new projects. After so many flops. And again, Guy Ritchie is a one-trick pony. And The Gentleman proves it. All this pretentiousness, stupid dialogues, poor directing, it just doesn't work. But hey, what could we expect from Guy Ritchie?
Too much talking. Not enough of a movie. Way too much dialogue and not enough of a real movie. I literally walked out of the theater about 1/3 into this mess. Don't waste your money. Wait until it's in Netflix or Amazon. Seriously. That's the best advice you'll ever get on this movie.
Worst Guy Ritchie ever made. Absolutely terrible. Don't even know to how begin. The only good thing about this movie is the wardrobe. Such a waste of talent. The saving grace, I would say, is Colin Farrell's character.
Lame. Boring movie. Awful plot and casual racism throughout.
Disappointing. I'm a fair person and usually easily entertained. This one is worth slipping for sure. Couple hours I'll never get back. What a big meh and British typical, badly scripted crap. I've tried to watch this movie as there are so many actors that I like very much. But it's just turned out a big boring disappointment. Well, some kinda pretentious. Trying to look cool but absolutely unnecessary failure. American actors were forced to speak with some tight-lipped British accent. The stupid beginning already exposed a predictable one-way developed direction. The blah, and blah never stimulated your further interest to keep your focus. Just a bunch of guys in suits, coats, windbreakers cursed in British accent trying to give you an authentic British product. Well, this is definitely not Dallas Buyers Club, nor any other interesting drug war movie. It's just pathetically trying to create another British-style hit and run copycat lock, stock and two smoking barrels 1998 crap, absolutely unwatchable. Extremely not recommended.
Guy Ritchie is done. What I hate the most in life is paying for something I hated, my hard-earned money for your poor attempt to slap together what you think is a motion picture. Guy, you could sit at a boulevard and beg for change and it would have been more dignified than to ask for $14 for this piece of work. Next time I'm using torrent to DL your movie.
Warning, this film contains many racist slurs. Over 30 minutes spent on introducing characters and setting the scene. There was also an incredible amount of casual racism, which was unacceptable to me.
Spoiled by casual racism. Over half an hour spent on introduction of characters and plot.
American Dream. An American smart guy took down the Chinese guy who wants to take his business. With the help from a British hooligan. Alone the story they also find out the conspiracy of a Middle Eastern guy and destroyed a Russian mafia. And the best part is this whole mafia drama is all recorded by a reporter. What a American Dream.
Very uncomfortable. If you want to watch this movie cause finally they added an Asian male character in a big movie. Don't waste your money and time. In this movie, Asian male characters got shot in balls, vomiting and got killed by the main character when he tried to rape a girl. Seriously, all embarrassing and humiliating storylines were given to Asian characters. All other white characters are graceful and elegant. They can even run super fast after a car accident. I am not a sensitive Asian person who talk about race stereotypes. But this is too much. I live in Melbourne and do you know how many people came here because the Asian actor in the Crazy Rich Asian is in it? A lot. His face appears in every poster cause they want to convince Asian heritage people to watch this movie. Then, they use stereotypes to build those characters. It is extremely hard for Asian male characters to be visible. If you don't want to be inclusive, you don't have to. The worst is to claim that you appreciate inclusive but actually the only thing you care about is money.
Total crap. Better sit idle but do not watch this movie. I beg you. No writing. No plot, just a pathetic movie. God knows what were they thinking. Do not waste your time watching this crap. PLSSSSS.
Utter rubbish. Dear oh dear. This easily makes it onto the top 5 worst films I have had the misfortune to sit through. Dreadful.
Small issue. Someone pulls a light green piece of metal from under the floor. Engraved on it are the words, "Stay on your rails." Never really understood why that happened, so I assumed the piece belonged to his ancestors. More specific, it was probably carved by someone during their last minutes on a ship. They would have gone through something to the equivalent of a full day of push-ups because it wasn't optional.
Complete rubbish. This is the worst Guy Ritchie film I have ever seen. And I know that is saying something. It's like layer cake written by a hyperactive 12-year. This film has it all. Clichés, casual racism, and a rubbish script. If this wasn't a Guy Ritchie movie it would have went straight to DVD or never been released.
Super boring. Yeah. The title says it. Guess it's not my cup of tea.
Matthew ruins it. Matthew ruins the film. The man cannot act. Uses the same boring breathless voice as always. I'd give the film a solid 10 if it was anyone else. Typical gangster film from Ritchie. Good dialogue and the Stanois is Charlie and Hugh. The rest. Same old cast with different names. Can guy write anything else? Nope, and doesn't have to because people buy into his films like Sheep to the Abattoir. Best scene, Matthew being shot, sort of.
Complete rubbish. This is the worst Guy Ritchie film I have ever seen. And I know that is saying something. It's like layer cake written by a hyperactive 12-year. This film has it all. Clichés, casual racism, and a rubbish script. If this wasn't a Guy Ritchie movie it would have went straight to DVD or never been released.
Super boring. Yeah, the title says it. Guess it's not my cup of tea.